Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday. It is Monday. We're back. It's Monday. Deep breaths, right? Deep breaths. Anyways, so I figured today, I don't know, I couldn't really come up with something. I have a lot of ideas rolling around in my head, and none of them seem to want to stick at the moment. So I thought, in the time being, I'll do the Soul Truth Self-Awareness cards, because I think even for mental health, that's a good thing to have, the self-awareness cards. But I also have the morning mantras that we'll finish up with. But let's see what today's card is. Am I focused on what I am losing or gaining? Ooh, that's a good question. So, the other day or last night, I asked myself, am I hanging on to balance as an idea because I don't have other things to hang on to? Or am I, still striving towards the idea of balance? Or is balance just something that you just embrace and go, hey, let's do this, go with the flow? So that's something that I'm working on. And this question is perfect. Am I focused on what I am losing or what I am gaining? Are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. So today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. So, I know, my mind just went blank. So let's see. Are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. And the question is, are we actually losing anything? When your mind shifts, when your brain shifts into a new place, you're more capable of setting boundaries. You're more capable of just allowing yourself this space that you've never allowed yourself before. You're giving yourself this permission to just live your life, to not worry about what other people think, still go through the world with kindness. Do not disrespect people along the way. But for the most part, learn to set those boundaries, because then you won't really have to get rid of anything in your life. But, especially if you have a dinged up mental health, right? Setting boundaries sometimes is absolutely necessary to maintain whatever sort of balance you might have, or a complete balance that you may have. So when it says, are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? Now, if you have trauma brain can, it can really make you believe that you are going to lose everything. Everything's going to change. It's going to upend you. And then you get overwhelmed by these thoughts, right? And you're just sitting there going, oh, I can't do this. And then you shut down. Now, that's not everybody. A lot of people with a dinged up mental health do have the capacity to do that. And a lot of people without a dinged up mental health may just get overwhelmed, temporarily overwhelmed, just going, whoa, no, you know what, I'm just going to stay here. Look at it as a job, right? Say you're not happy in your job anymore. You were promised growth. You're not receiving growth. But some company comes in and says, hey, you know what? We saw you. We want to offer you this. We will tell you right now that in, 6 months that we want to really kind of grow you into a new position. And, they might be telling you everything you want to hear. And, you start thinking, well, I heard that from, point A, right? And point A said they were going to do this for me, and then it never happened. There's excuse after excuse after excuse. And then you kind of sit there going, well, should I really trust them? Should I really believe them? But if you're not happy where you're at, if you're happy where you're at, then, it's hard to say, right? But if you're worried about losing whatever you think you've lost, maybe this place is offering more money. It might even be closer to home for you. And there's all kinds of benefits to it. You can ask yourself, am I happy here? Now I'm not giving you advice, okay? This is not advice. I'm just giving you a scenario of what might happen. Someone comes in, offers you the same thing, and you're like, well, what if? What if it doesn't? What if they don't? But what if you end up happier where you're at? You're not necessarily letting go of something. You can still keep your friends if they choose to still hang out with you at this, distracted, at your previous job. But if this one place is really offering the growth, like I said, maybe they're offering more money, maybe they're offering childcare, maybe they're offering, less of a distance for you to drive. think about how happy you are, and don't be afraid to move forward, to move, because you never know. You may go somewhere and they may keep their word. They may say, hey, you know what? It's been 6 months. We think you're doing great. We'd like to move you into this area. And, we have plenty of room for growth. If you want to grow in a different direction, let us know. We'll work with you because we think you're a fabulous worker. So, it could go that way or it could go the other way, saying, well, you're really not working out for us, but let's give it a little more time. So you have to make that choice, whether or not this is something you want to do, whether it is something that you want to really kind of pursue, right? That you want to just kind of go with. Life's too short to just kind of stick around and do the same monotonous thing. And I should be talking to myself because I do the same monotonous thing. There's no adventure in my life right now. And there really, really needs to be. There really needs to be an adventure in my life. So, but what if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? So again, let's go back to the workplace scenario. All right. You're worried about maybe losing whatever seniority you may or may not have at this place, but you're being offered this great opportunity. And you could be in a place where you've grown as far as you can grow, and maybe you want to grow more. So when it says, what if you shifted your focus from what you might lose? You might lose seniority. Yeah, you might lose, some people that say they'll keep in touch and don't. But you'll keep the ones that you will probably keep the former coworkers who really, just kind of jived with you. I still have a small group of people that I still keep in touch with from my old job. But what you're going to gain, again, you're going to gain more money, potentially. You're going to gain a closer drive. And, you never know. You might skyrocket past to where you were there. So it's all about motivation. It's all about, looking at things, not what we're losing, but what we're gaining. Now, again, remember, I'm telling you, this is not advice. These are just examples. And sometimes I think the workplace is the best example because I know people who sit there and go, well, I don't know if I should do this and I don't know if I want to do this. And then they're kind of upended out of their jobs and they're like, oh man, I should have taken that opportunity. So if it feels right, use your spidey instincts. Okay. Use your spidey instincts. If it feels right, go for it. But if it doesn't feel right, give it a little more thought. Here's the thing. If something is meant for you, it is not going to pass you by. So even if you don't decide in that one moment, who knows, something else might come around that's very similar, same idea, same structure, same everything that the other place had offered you, because sometimes it takes a while for us to realize that, we're ready to move forward, and we may not always be ready to move forward, but just all in all, the advice I am going to give to you is believe in yourself. Stop focusing on the negative, start focusing on the positive. When we focus on the negative, we're going to continually bring negative reactions, negative actions to our reactions, or however that goes. I'm just talking out of my face right now. But when we learn to go with the flow and we learn to let go of that negative and we learn to embrace the positive, we open ourselves to a whole different world that, how about this? Maybe you are in entertainment, right? And you were sitting here thinking, wow, I'm behind the scenes, but gosh, I'd really love to write. I've been watching all these people writing. I've been watching how this script is done. I've been watching this, that, or the other. And you might either get the acting bug, the writing bug, whatever. So maybe you write something. Maybe you hand it in. Now, here's the thing. What do you have to lose? Right? Just you sit there and say, hey, I wrote this, but I want to sit down with people, because you also want to make sure you get the credit for your script. So, there's a lot of different ways that we can go about things. Okay. We talk about entertainment. We talk about, just the regular workplace. Maybe a teacher, right? Maybe you've been at a certain school for so long and you just, you might have gotten to know the parents. Oh, my son so-and-so is coming here next year. He's so excited to see you, but you get an offer from a place that might pay you more money that, again, is closer to home. What do? You have to do what's best for you. It's not being selfish. Okay. It's not being selfish. What it is it's you taking care of your needs. And when you take care of your needs, and when you do, when you put yourself in a really good place, you are going to be able to turn that back to the people that you're helping, the people that you're serving, whatever it is that you might be in. So again, are you going through some change? Are you? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. So again, we always fear the word endings, right? Like, oh my God, it's over. But what if it's not? What if it's a new beginning? Think of it like relationships, right? Or, we just talked about, being in the workforce, but that's kind of a relationship too. What happens? Okay, what happens when, it's like, oh man, I thought this was the one. I thought we were going to grow old together. But then you might turn around and meet somebody who is just extraordinary, who matches your vibe in the most perfect of ways. And you're like, whoa, I never saw that coming. It's like being hit by an emotional love freight train. Okay. And that's just one example. I mean, you might get upended from a job, right? And then you land in this one place. It's like, wow, that happened to a friend of mine. They're in their dream job now, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to see people, but I do struggle with change. You can tell, right? Because I'm kind of all over this topic, but I struggle with change, and change can be very, very hard for me because, for people like me who have trauma-based brains that are healing, we tend to be afraid of change because it's not something we can control. Okay, no, I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there like me, but we can't control it, and it scares us because, it's like going with the flow is like walking into a dark room and wondering, is it pretty or is it filled with spiders? But here's the thing. If you turn on the light and it's not to your liking, you can always turn back around and walk back out, right? But you're going with the flow. You couldn't control that situation to a degree. You couldn't control what was in the room, but you could control how you reacted to it. So, or you can go in there and say, be gone, because I like this room and I want to make it all pretty again. So, you are in control to some degree, but we can't control every single aspect of our life. When we try to do that, we stop all the good things that are coming to us. We stop the flow, and people are going to be like, oh, you're talking out of your ear. No, I'm not. I have seen this. I have lived this. I've seen other people who have done this. I have seen other people who have lived this. I have had friends who had, relationships end very, very badly, and now they're in wonderful relationships. I had a person who just really struggled in a lot of different ways. And one day something clicked, they got better, and now, they're engaged. So, you never know what's going to happen when you just learn how to go with the flow. And I feel like I should be pointing all these fingers at me because I struggle with it too. So if you think I'm just talking out of my ass, I am telling you, I get it. I get it. I get how hard change can be. I get how scary change can be. But remember it. Look at it this way. You're not losing anything. You're gaining. What you're losing is you're losing all the negative habits. You're losing all the bad habits. You're losing all the negative and bad patterns that you've created so that you can move forward, creating new, beautiful, wonderful habits, new, healthier patterns. And that's what we all deserve. We all deserve to live this, beautiful life, right? One of my favorite Henry James quotes is, it's time to start living the life you've imagined, and I don't know the context of it, to be honest with you, but, it's time to start living the life you've imagined. Now, that's a person that died over 100 years ago, but, there's always a little bit of truth in everything we read, right? There's always going to be something that resonates. And, that is a quote that should resonate with all of us. It's time to start living the life you've imagined. Don't just keep imagining it. It's like Carl Jung says, he who looks outside dreams. He who looks within awakens. Sometimes we have to look within to heal whatever it is that's hurting us, harming us, causing some of the behaviors that we have, causing us to say, do things that we wouldn't normally say or do. And like I said, I understand. Okay, my healing journey was long. It was tough. And, I see things differently now. I see how I used to point at people and go, oh, well, you need to fix this, or you're doing this, or you're doing that, when it was me that was needing to heal. And I come at situations much differently nowadays. I don't knee jerk anymore. I mean, sometimes I might, but, I try to give a situation, X amount of time to work itself out. And if it doesn't, then I just, I'll either cut it off or I'll walk away from it, because there's nothing I can do to change it. And I think that's the part that we sometimes struggle with, is we keep trying to fix something because we can't fix ourselves. So when you learn how to do that, when you learn how to embrace that self-love, when you learn how to embrace that self-care and that self-worth, especially the self-love and the self-worth, that's a big one. That's a big one, because a lot of times we'll just be so angry that we'll point our fingers in every direction just to let that, just to kind of let off the steam, right? So we don't explode, just kind of let off steam. So today's soul action. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. So I like that. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. So, and I know there's people who, I know there's women who go through the change. And I know a lot of them struggle with it. I never had I never had my own children, and I never had kids, period. I don't even have kids now. I have fur babies. But when, I know for other people I know that have been like me, that never had kids, you reach a certain age and then you start to menopause and all these regrets come on, and then all these, oh man, like, I missed that opportunity. It really is for a lot of women an end of an era. Plus it brings on its whole new set of issues. You get hot flashes, you get hormone deficiency, so you might, tank a little bit in the mood department. So it's not always easy being a girl, okay? It can be very hard being a girl, but because our bodies are they're like cranky bitches sometimes. But I think, I can see how that kind of change would be hard for people. I mean, I haven't menopause yet, but I know it's coming eventually, right? I mean, I'm at that age now where one of these days it's going to start. But, I had those feelings when I hit a certain age. I was kind of like, I think this time is past. Even though I haven't menopaused, it's like, I think this time is past for me. And now it's just a waiting game. And it was very difficult. It was very difficult to go through. I cried over it. I was sad over it. But I realized, I'll just throw myself into trying to be a good aunt. I'm not the greatest aunt, but not lately anyways. I used to be a pretty decent auntie, but, lately it's not that great because I've been inside of my head. And so using myself as an example, now that I'm coming out of my head, now that I'm really healing, now that I'm kind of setting my boundaries and learning how to move forward and learning how to not be ashamed or second guess. I second guess a lot of things still because I'm still a recovering people pleaser, and I don't want to make anyone mad, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But, sometimes we have to do what we have to do to set those boundaries. But as I come into this area of my life, it's like I need to learn how to shift. And shifting has been hard, right? Because we sit there and go, wow, this is like a whole different mindset. But I figured, you know what? I lost my mom about a decade ago. Sissy is right behind her by about 10 months. I lost another friend, and I thought, every single time that happened, I thought, how am I going to go on? How am I going to move forward without these people in my life, without this person in my life? But I did it. We all do it. When we break up with someone, when someone breaks up with us, or a relationship ends, or a job ends, or a friendship goes sideways or whatever. That's just an example. Even family members go sideways. You have to ask yourself, am I losing something or am I gaining something? Because eventually those things can fix themselves. Friendships can repair themselves. Family relationships can repair themselves. And when they do, you'll find a new job. You'll find a new relationship. And when they do, you're going to take what you learned from the other things and you're going to say, hey, wow, this is so amazing. I know someone who's in a very wonderful relationship right now. And I think, I know a few people who are with their forever people. And these are people who've been through some pretty hairy shit, in the last 5 or 6 years. And it's just kind of like, what? And at that time when they were going through it, it's like, oh, is it ever going to get better? Does it ever get better? And then it does one day. And all of a sudden, you realize letting go and embracing that ending so that you can have that new beginning is absolutely worth it. So again, today, make a list of all the things you can gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a deep breath, and deepen into trust. I know that whatever reason my life is where it's at right now, I am sure there is a reason for it. And I'm sure that, it's going to be one of those where the comeback is bigger than the setback. And I truly, truly believe the comeback will be greater than the setback. I mean, come on, it's already a good day. I straightened my hair today and it's behaving. So, I know you were going to say, really, Shelly Marie, after all that deep talk, you're going to talk about your hair? Very minimal. So this is the first time I've been able to show my bangs because I had a total meltdown about a month and a half ago and I cut my bangs. And they were short. That's why I've been wearing my hair back all that time. And I thought, this is why I need to find my balance. So that when I get frustrated or I get upset, I don't take it. I do my best not to take it out on people. Like when you just have that blind rage where it's like whoever's standing there, poof, you're going to explode like a volcano. So instead, I took a pair of scissors to my hair. Right? Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Not. It is as bad as running with scissors. You do not want to do it because then you have stupid hair for a while. And I couldn't cut it because I knew that if I did, I would go short again and I really want my hair long. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen likes my hair. So today I thought, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to straighten my hair. I'm going to do whatever I have to do and I'm going to do my best to grow out my hair. And, not that you needed to know all that, but the point I'm trying to make is when we fight against something, when we fight against that ending, that's what happens. And that's what happened to me. I did it before my last therapy session, and I had a feeling it was going to be my last therapy session, and it was my weird way of acting out because I am not the person I was a year ago. And again, I've said this before, I'm not even the same person I was 6 months ago. And I am this person trying to find my balance. And that's the question I have to ask myself, right? That's the ending or the beginning. Am I focused on what I am losing or what I am gaining? What do I have to lose by accepting the balance? The balance shouldn't be as hard as I'm making it to find, because I've been through all the healing. I've been through the therapy. I've been through everything. I've been told I have the tools. I know I have these tools because I've had to use them in the last couple of weeks since therapy. Especially when I remember, oh my God, I don't have therapy anymore. And then I freak out for a second and it's kind of like, no, wait, all right, what would WWGD, all right, what would my therapist do? All right, her name do. And she would tell me, Shelly Marie, you have the tools. And then I have to sit there and take a break. But I can tell you right now, the reason I'm struggling through this perspective is because letting go is hard for me to do. It has been my whole life hanging on to things that do not serve us. I had a situation over the weekend where I told sibling, it's like, I think I was hanging on to that because it was, it was drama filled and traumatizing in a way. And, it was just one of those things where it's kind of like, why am I doing this still? Why? And it's because when you have a trauma-based brain, you hold on to negative things because they're familiar. Doesn't mean they're good for you. They're familiar. And then when you kind of let it go, you realize that you're putting the focus on something else. For instance, I'll give you this simplest example. When I stopped emotionally eating the first time, I replaced it with emotional shopping. Yes, believe it or not, that is a thing. Emotional shopping. Even if it was just going to like the dollar store and buying a bunch of shit you don't need, right? Or going on Amazon in the middle of the night. Oh, this sounds like a really good idea. I think I'm going to get this. That's emotional shopping. Because you're not fixing what needs to be fixed in here. You're not letting go of whatever needs to be let go of. Instead, you're replacing one action with the other. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy because you're not taking care of the issue. You're just, basically creating it in a different area. Then when I gave up emotional shopping, I started emotionally eating again. So it's like, okay, I have to figure out where my balance is. Because when you find out where your balance is, you stop all the emotional things that you're doing. Like I said, as the example, when I quit emotional eating, I started emotionally shopping. So I needed to go in and figure out what needed to be changed. And because of that, you become this new person. And you're not really a new person per se. All right. You're the kind of person that's just, you're figuring out what your ending is and what your beginning is. And sometimes that little space in between, right, is where you struggle. That's where the balance is. And the balance isn't easy for everybody. The balance can be super easy for some. And I envy you if it is. But don't hang on to something just because it's familiar. So as I mentioned, are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. Oh, my cousin's on. Hi, beautiful. Oh she's so sweet. I love her. Compliments in the morning. Great hair. Beautiful. Well, hello to you too, beautiful. That's my cousin Trez. I love her. But yeah, it's, again, just make a list of all the things you will, okay, stop. There we go. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you are going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. That's the best advice I can give you from my own perspective. Deepen into trust. Trust yourself. Use those spidey instincts. I promise you. So, I know we talked about a lot of other stuff in the beginning, and then I kind of gave you my examples and my own issues towards the end. But I promise you today, I'm going to work on my balance. All right. This morning, I got up to come do the show, and I've been working out in the morning, so my body was just kind of like, ugh. And Sibling says, are you okay to do errands today? And I thought, I don't know, I'll let you know. But you know what? I sat here before the show, and I thought, I have to do this. It's not pushing myself. It's reminding myself that I am capable of doing anything. And I don't want to give in to my brain, because I know how my brain is. My brain would say, no, I'm hurting. Just stay home and do nothing. But no, today it's like, no, these are good pains. Okay. These are muscles that I'm gaining. These are, the weight you're losing, the whatever. You're gaining a new perspective, and you're moving into what you were trying to work towards. So don't give up on yourselves. Okay. Just do what you have to do to find that balance, and do what you have to do to, like I said, don't be afraid of the ending, because endings are new beginnings. All right. So ask yourself again today, what am I focused on? Or am I focused on what I am losing or what I am gaining? All right. So again, focus on the good stuff. Okay. Positivity is so much more fun than negativity. Negativity is just, negativity is shite. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Tessie. I know, see, this is what my cousins do to me. I love it. I would say my older cousin, but that was mean. I didn't mean to say it like that. She's just always been my older cousin. The person you look up to when you're growing up, and just kind of, my champions. I love my family. My family, I don't see them all that often. I don't get to see them as much as I would love to. But sometimes it's hard when you live a county away, because people forget that, you don't live that far, but you just kind of, you see them when you do, but it's like you never miss a beat, right? And you're just excited and and I love her. She's been one of my big champions, along with older sibling in my growth period. So it's always nice to hear from family. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm rambling now. Oh, right. I have one last card. The morning mantra. Oh, we keep getting this one. I'm getting a different card, damn it. So, okay. Oh, that one flipped over right away. No, we had that one too. Let's try something different. Come on, give us a different one for the morning mantra. Okay, how about this one? Coffee. Coffee. So I refuse to deprive myself of the tiny, splurgy pleasures that spark my daily joy. I'm a lot more fun when I'm not a hollow, gray-eyed husk of resentment. Oh my gosh, it's like family day. Now my Auntie Willow is on. Hi, Auntie. And thank you. Thank you. Okay. So see, this is what I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, I decided I'm going to straighten my hair because my curls are being dumb. And I'm getting all kinds of compliments on my hair today and the way I look. So everybody, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But for our morning mantra, I refuse to deprive myself of the tiny, splurgy pleasures that spark my daily joy. I'm a lot more fun when I'm not a hollow, gray-eyed husk of resentment. So there you go. You want that coffee? Go have that coffee. You want that muffin? Go have that muffin. I discovered a muffin from Sam's Club that, oh my God, it is cinnamon crunch muffin. I bought it for sibling and then I ate them all. She didn't want any. Not my fault. I mean, it took me like a week to eat them all, but you know, snooze you lose, sister. So she just stuck with traditional blueberry, but damn, these things were good. So anyways, do what makes you happy in the morning. All right. Do what makes you happy. Just as the last example I'm going to give you for do what makes you happy. I told older sibling, I said, you know, sometimes doing the traditional workouts are kind of boring, right? I'm still doing my push-ups every morning. That was inspired by baby sibling Marie to do that. And so, I thought, you know what? So I still do those. I end my exercises with those, and I'm up to 30 now. So yay! Of course, 30 on my knees, but you know, I'm not going to shame myself. However, I'm all, you know, I kind of like dancing more for exercise. You know, regular traditional exercise is kind of boring. So I downloaded a bunch. This morning I was doing warm-ups. I was doing disco. I know disco, right? But I was like, this is, I mean, my heart rate was going down for like an hour, but it was fun. And then it got unfun because, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, I need to watch these things through to see what I like and what I don't like. So I went back to what I also do with my power reels, and I was just, you know, it's what makes you happy. You know, maybe it's not the splurgy thing like the coffee that we're talking about, but instead of sticking to something traditional, I needed to do something to keep myself motivated. And so I did. So whatever brings you joy in the morning, do it. Do it. If you want that, you know, extra creamer in the coffee, great. Yeah. Older sibling says, you bought me blueberry muffins and I ate those. She did, but I got the cinnamon ones because I thought she might want to interchange. I thought we would share them both. But no, we both ended up eating our own. So you know how that goes. Today we'll probably be fighting over the guacamole. So but anyways, yeah, all right. I'm done rambling, I promise. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, when I'm kind of in a place of growth, I just jibber jabber on forever and ever. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Eileen, sibling, Auntie Willow, Tessie, thank you all so much for coming on this morning. I love it. I love all of you. I am grateful for all of you. And, yes, and you know, I'm grateful. And if I'm here every morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public Monday through Friday. On Facebook Live under Shelly Marie Lucas. They're all public, so anybody can watch. Friday is Aloha Oracle. Okay, Friday is Aloha Oracle Friday or Aloha Guidance Friday, or I'm going to try to throw in, like, it's going to rotate, okay? And I'm also going to throw in, you know, some my own culture in there to get things going. So, yeah, see, it's like Trez says, totally agree. Just do it. You can, and it'll be okay. See, it'll be okay. Sometimes we just have to push ourselves out of that comfort zone to know that everything's going to be all right. And then when you look back, my mom used to always say, don't look back, you're not going that way. But older sibling added on to that and said, you know, if you look back, just look back to see how far you've come. And sometimes it's exactly what we need. Don't look back to the bad patterns, but look back to see how far you've come from those bad patterns. All right. So again, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a great